Tonight, local postal workers held a rally with their supporters today, 4 weeks after walking off the job. Plus, more than a decade after the tailings pond collapsed at the Mount Polley mine, charges have been laid. And the 6th annual Prince George Christmas Wish Breakfast took place this morning. Good evening and welcome to CKPG News. I'm Adam Burles. Postal workers in Prince George were joined by friends and family for a special rally over the lunch hour today. The postal strike has been underway for 4 weeks now, and there seems to be no end in sight. Cheryl Jan reports.
It was a boisterous crowd of postal workers, their friends and family outside Station B on 15th Avenue, and the negotiations have become a war of words.
If wages were a sticking point, we've just made another offer which lowered the wages down over the 4-year terms. The weekend delivery, I've said it before, I'll say it again, we already have provisions in our collective agreement which the corporation put in back in 18 for weekend delivery. So if they're saying that there is nothing for weekend delivery, that's just not the case. We have 2 provisions for it.
Sure, says Canada Post, there have been concessions, but the union is mired in the past.
And we have, throughout these negotiations, tried to bring about the kind of flexibility that would allow us to provide that and grow our parcel business. But unfortunately, CKPG has not supported that and continues to, look to the past and try and entrench some of that, and we just can't agree to that.
He says Canada Post's parcel delivery service has declined, and that can't be maintained over the next 4 years. And the corporation has a bleak message for customers.
We did not want to lead people to believe that we were any closer to a resolution. This isn't a case where we can just throw money at this, accept these changes that would handcuff us rather than provide the flexibility we need going forward. It's unfortunate because we would like nothing better to get our people back to work.
Meanwhile, the striking postal workers have a message for the federal government.
Not a simple forced back to work situation, hopefully. We'd like to see the Labour Minister and the Prime Minister of Canada go to Canada Post Corporation and force them to negotiate in good faith.
At Station B, today's rally was about friends and family, with picketers earning just over $50 a day in strike pay.
So yeah, we're all hurting. There's nobody here that's going to Mexico for Christmas, I can tell you that right now, and maybe even putting the turkey on the table will be hard.
Ain't no power like the power of the people. The power of the people don't stop.
Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
15 charges under the Federal Fisheries Act have been laid against Imperial's Metal Corporation more than a decade after a tailings pond collapsed the Mount Polley mine, spilling more than 20 million cubic meters of wastewater into BC interior waterways. A statement from the BC Conservation Officer Service says it worked with the Department of Fisheries and Environment and Climate Change Canada to investigate possible contraventions of the Act. It says both federal and BC's prosecution services have confirmed the charges by direct indictment. The collapse of the dam at the gold and copper mine is considered one of the largest environmental disasters in the province's history. The service says Mount Polley Mining Corporation and Wood Canada Limited face the same charges, and all 3 companies are due to make a court appearance on December 18th. Imperial Metals says in a statement that the company received the indictment this week, and as the matter is before the courts, it won't be making any further comments. Prince George RCMP made a drug and gun bust on the 2600 block of Quince Street following an incident on November 29th. After weeks of investigative police work, 4 men were brought in for charges relating to unauthorized possession of a firearm, possession of stolen property, and more.
Our problem-oriented policing team and downtown safety unit were out doing proactive patrols in our community when they witnessed a car get set on fire right in front of them. From there, the investigation continued to unfold and prompted them to make the arrests of those 4 individuals, and then from there conduct the search, execute the search warrants at 2 locations. And from there, they were able to seize all of the firearms and the drugs as well. So really great piece of police work from both of those teams.
Other than the guns and cash, suspected fentanyl, meth, cocaine, and hydromorphine were all found in a taxi that the suspects attempted to get away in. The drugs were shaped into pineapple-shaped molds, and Corporal Cooper asks that if you're extra vigilant with what may look to be candy, as it could instead be drugs.
Just a warning out to the public that this is something new to our community. We haven't really seen this before in our detachment, so it's something to keep an eye out for if your youth are coming home with unwrapped candy-like substances, to take a closer look and maybe ask where they're coming from, or young adults in your home, whomever, to be honest. These are not candy. They may look like chocolate, but they are illicit drugs pressed into these molds and could be very harmful if someone took them or inadvertently was exposed to them.
The BC Highway Patrol's Light Up the Province event took place this weekend with over 400 police officers checking tens of thousands of vehicles on highways from Prince George to Revelstoke and everywhere in between. Over 43,000 vehicles were checked and over 220 impaired drivers were taken off of the road. Over 270 violation tickets were issued for non-impaired driving. Light Up the Province is BC Highway Patrol's contribution to National Impaired Driving Day, which marks the traditional launch weekend for the December Winter Impaired Driving Campaign. A private member's bill introduced a year ago by Caribou Prince George MP Todd Doherty made more headway in a special committee last week. Bill C-321 aims to amend the criminal code to require a court to consider an assault against a person who is a healthcare professional or first responder to be considered an aggravating circumstance for the purpose of sentencing. The bill went before the Senate's Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee last week, with a number of speakers in favor of the bill.
Paramedics have frequently been told there is no point in pursuing legal action as the consequences are not worth the effort. Some have been informed that it was their mistake that led to the incident, and we have all been told it's just part of the job.
At least monthly, 39% say they are exposed to weapons. 61% say they're exposed to illicit substances. Half of them experience physical violence at least once a month, and nearly a third face verbal or emotional abuse daily. A staggering 99% of respondents said they've experienced reportable incidents, yet more than half said they have not reported anything to their employer because they lack faith that anything will be done about it.
There's nothing that should delay this any further, and what better of a Christmas present for the thousands and thousands of firefighters, paramedics, and nurses right across our country that have just poured their hearts out into this effort, than to see this bill receive royal assent before Christmas. It would be amazing.
A Subway restaurant in Fraser Lake was the victim of a brazen theft over the weekend. The incident happened on Saturday, and video surveillance captured the moment somebody took a light-up sign right off the wall from inside the business. It shows a worker in Subway preparing food, and then a man walks up to the wall beside the till, removes the sign, and simply walks out the front door. Footage from outside the business shows two people leaving the business. They walk across the parking lot and get into an SUV and then simply drive off. The 6th annual Prince George Christmas Wish Breakfast with the Northern Capitals and Caribou Cougars Club took place this morning, and it was the best year ever. Tommy Osborne attended the breakfast and brings us more on the cause it supports and the people behind it all who helped deliver smile for hundreds of children on Christmas morning.
The community came out strong, piling up hundreds of toys, all for a fantastic cause, the 6th annual Prince George Christmas Wish Breakfast.
There's so many kids out there in the community that would not see Christmas without it.
It was the best year for the event, as around 400 breakfasts were served and more than 1,200 toys were raised. That's on top of cash donations and gift cards, meaning this breakfast will deliver hundreds of toys to families for Christmas morning.
It was so amazing watching everybody come early, excited with anticipation for the event. So many new faces this year.
The Caribou Cougars and Northern Capitals co-host the event, and they say it's always a highlight of the year to give back to the community off the ice.
It's something that our athletes and parents and coaches, you get to wake up in the morning and Christmas morning and know that you have contributed for somebody that might not get a gift, actually gets a gift. So it's something that's very important to the organization.
It's really fun every year, and it's fun to go pick out gifts with the whole team and just bring them all here and just enjoy it and give back.
They get to play hockey every day, and it's an expensive sport. So for them to be able to do this and give back to their community and give back to some young young kids and maybe even some young athletes that are in the same sport as them to have a good Christmas. So it's pretty important for us.
This breakfast fundraiser really is about community, as a wide variety of organizations do their part to make Christmas a good one for many who otherwise may not be able to afford it. That includes first responders and the Prince George Industrial Mutual Aid Committee, which is comprised of many industries in the city.
It's been an easy sell. Collectively as a group, we've always supported it, and it continues to have huge support behind it. So I hope to continue as long as we're invited to be part of the Wish Breakfast.
It's a great time to meet the community, all different people. The kids come to see us, adults are happy to see us, and that's really very different from when police officers especially would normally interact with community members. Often we're seeing them at some of the worst days of their lives. So this is a nice kind of outreach to do, kind of build those relationships back up in a more positive way.
With a record-breaking amount of toys raised, the Christmas Wish Breakfast continues to not only bring community members together, but deliver smiles to hundreds of families on Christmas morning. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
And now to your health. Brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
The stress of school life can be hard to overcome, but thanks to the help of one local hero, the students at CNC can get a small respite. This is Sam, the therapy dog.
I've had lots of people say they miss their dogs and they really like petting him because it reminds them of their dog, or exams are coming, they miss their family. So yeah, they just really like petting him and scratching him all over.
According to the Mayo Clinic, dogs are a great way to reduce stress, decrease anxiety, and combat loneliness. And according to Corinne, the reception has been fantastic. Adding that some days she's not able to sit down before people come and say hello to Sam.
I've got towels to dry his feet and treats and toys and all sorts of stuff. So usually I pick a spot, but today I didn't have to. I just was right at the door and people were meeting me right there.
Corinne adds that not just any dog is able to be a therapy dog, and it comes with rigorous training.
The therapy dog is for everybody. So your dog would need to like lots of people of all different ethnicities and sizes, kids, adults, old people. So yeah, and Sam loves everyone. He loves his job.
If you would like to add a therapy dog to your school or workplace, there are plenty of organizations that can help.
We do work with different groups. Caring Canines would be with Sam. We also have St. John Ambulance therapy dogs that do visit.
And while me and Sam might share the same name, you can find him helping students at CNC most Wednesdays from 3:30 to 4:30. Sam Benison, CKPG News.
To your health. Brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is $1.46.9 per liter at Costco. The lowest gas price in BC is in Dewdney at $1.33.9 per liter. Manitoba currently has the lowest gas prices in the country on average at $1.24.5 per liter. Meanwhile, BC has an average price of $1.61 per liter.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
Earlier today at Canadian Tire, it was announced that Prince George will be the hosts of the 2025 Special Olympics BC Summer Games. Jane DeMello was at the announcement and brings us more.
7 months from today, the 2025 Special Olympics BC Summer Games are going to kick off here in our community. It will bring 3 days of inspiration and joy, and that is thanks to the 1,200 athletes with intellectual disabilities who will showcase their skills, their determination, and their passion for sports.
The welcoming spirit that Prince George has, since we have spoken with the city and they're approaching us to host the games, everybody that we've met along the way has just been so gracious and so generous and just quick to jump in and help with anything.
We're seeing the community come together to say that athletes with intellectual disabilities matter and that they deserve a top shelf competitive experience and they should be in the spotlight for their abilities.
Special gave me a lot of things.
confidence in myself, a purpose to get up, somebody to learn from, somebody to teach. It gave me purpose.
We want to give the athletes just the best opportunity they can have to compete, but the best experience by attending the games, and that's really our focus, those two things.
Right now I participate in powerlifting, floor hockey, basketball, 10-pin, snowshoeing, bocce, track and field, and soccer.
They're the ones that commit to it. They're the ones that make it happen. And so we're just, thrilled to be there to see them achieve and celebrate those successes for themselves.
It boils down to something simple. The wish for people to not have to stare at the abyss, not see half the darkness, being able to have something to look forward to.
While the Special Olympics gives the competitors an incredible opportunity, it's also a phenomenally rewarding experience for everyone involved in making it happen.
I co-chaired the 2001 Special Olympic Summer Games here in Prince George, and never ever forgot the event and just what it meant to me over the years, and it is so gratifying.
To see that commitment and that excitement from everyone involved just helps us to grow and makes things grow and become more exciting.
With the enormous amount of athletes competing, the organizing committee is looking for plenty more volunteers to make the 2025 Special Olympics BC Summer Games a success. Jaden Amello, CKPG News.
The TSX is down 121 points to close at 25,504. The Dow Jones is down 154 points to close at 44,248. And Artemis Gold went down 44 cents to close at $14.86.
Good evening again, everyone. We've got flurries in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow, and then we've got another system bringing with it some snow. So we'll take you into the future cast where we can see what's happening here into our day tomorrow, into our night tonight, some flurries, a break a little bit into the morning, and then another bit of moisture, another band of moisture bringing a good chance of flurries throughout the day and the evening. Then it's the next system that's coming in for Thursday. So that is going to be approaching the coast and making its way in. Of course, heavier rain showers along coastal sections, but for us that will change over to snow, and we should see periods of snow on Thursday and Thursday night, and then maybe a few lingering flurries here and there for Friday, but overall Friday doesn't look too bad. For many areas we might actually have some sunshine returning. So here's our BC map for you tomorrow. We've got the low-lying cloud in Fort St. John, -8 the high, 2 degrees Kamloops, Kelowna close to that as well. A lot of cloud cover happening across the province for tomorrow. 8 in Victoria, maybe a peak of sunshine there. And very mild up towards the north coast. It was mild today. It'll be mild again tomorrow. We're looking at highs of 10 degrees for Prince Rupert for the afternoon tomorrow. Our broadcast region, not quite 10 degrees, but not too bad. +1 Quesnel. We're still above freezing in many areas. McBride may see some showers in the forecast tomorrow, but +1 will be your temperature. -1 Burns Lake. Cloudy skies up towards Fort St. James and Mackenzie as well. And our cross-country map is a cold one through the prairies. So again, there were some very cold temperatures in through the prairies, especially Saskatchewan a few weeks back. Well, now that's returning. So we're looking at temperatures in Regina tomorrow, -23 for a high. You'll get the sunshine, but you'll certainly need to bundle up. It is going to be a pretty frigid temperature trend for the next few days. Same for Winnipeg, -21 the high. We're at +5 for Montreal, Toronto, 11 in Halifax. So very mild conditions over in Halifax tomorrow, but lots of moisture to the eastern half of the country. So again, showers, flurries, snow, even that wintry mix in there as well for some areas. We will have a sun cloud mix late into the week, as I mentioned, and here's the breakdown. So Burns Lake, you've got some snow tonight, -6, a break tomorrow, cloudy skies, a few flurries in the mix for Thursday afternoon and into the morning on Friday, but after that you'll see a nice clearing trend. Mackenzie as well, Thursday, Friday look to be the most unsettled, highs of around -1, -2, some afternoon snow with that next system, a little bit into the morning, but drying out for the weekend and down to -6 tonight. We've got wet weather in the forecast for McBride the next couple of days, may linger a little bit into Friday, but for the most part, that should be the day you see some sunshine returning. But again, just be careful out on the roads early tomorrow morning as we have some freezing rain that could be happening throughout the region tomorrow morning, especially McBride. Morning flurry, though, on Thursday. Quesnel will see those temperatures up to about +2 by Thursday, but that's when you've got some moisture moving moving in the afternoon. Tomorrow, though, just remaining cloudy. So for us in Prince George, it's a similar forecast. I'm thinking that we may see some sunshine for Friday afternoon, but most of the snow expected to fall on Thursday. But as of now, -5 overnight tonight with cloud cover. Tomorrow as well, some flurries in the forecast for the day ahead. And we're looking at maybe a bit of sunshine as we get into the later part of the week and for the start of the weekend.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
All right, so it was a pretty busy weekend in Prince George for local hockey on the Cougars end. The Cougars playing their first and only games at the CN Centre for the month of December, heading on the road this week. What were your takeaways, Jaden? Thanks for joining us. What were your takeaways on these couple of wins for the Cougars at home? Big for sure. They needed those 2 wins, but what were your takeaways for sure?
Yeah, you know what? They 2 totally different games. You start off on Friday against the Regina Pats, and you're coming off 3 straight losses, so you think the guys are going to get up and have a really emotional performance and get going in their, like you said, the final weekend at home. But they kind of looked lifeless out there. I mean, they did end up getting the win, thanks in part to Josh Ravensbergen. Played great, only allowed 2 goals. And in a fitting way, Borja Vallis found the back of the net 2 times for his first time ever playing against the Pats since being traded. And then you go to Saturday, you have the annual teddy bear toss game, and it starts off a little tough, allowing the first 2 goals, but they showed some resilience. Carson Carl's getting the big goal and showering the ice with the teddy bears, and they get on a little bit of a run. Hunter Lang, best game of the season, scores the game-tying and game-winning goal. So they're definitely moving in the right direction. Started off a little slow, but you know what? That's back-to-back wins now after they lost 4 of their last 5 before that.
Yeah, it was certainly electric in there on Saturday. 6,000 people plus, I think, and free pizza. Everybody loves free pizza when the Cougars score 5 goals or more. So tomorrow, they have a midweek game in Kennewick for the Tri-City Americans. What are you expecting from that matchup?
Well, they have their new guy that they just got in, Corbin Vaughn. He's going to be playing his first game, and he's a really physical player. You expect him to come out there and bring some physicality to that back end, and you kind of hope for them to boost up their performance a little bit and see what you saw on Saturday and not Friday, because they're playing a Tri-City team that's it's tough. They're also top 4 in the conference, and they're playing a bit better than the Cougars right now if you just looked at their recent form. So they're going to have Ravensbergen play big, and one big missing piece, Riley Height. He just was out in Ottawa for the World Junior training camp for the first day today. So I don't think the new guy's going to come in and make that much of a difference, but they're going to have to rally around missing one of their top guys.
And on the Spruce Kings end, some coaching changes. Also, Skogan Schrott being named to a BCHL Prospects game. Let's go back to Taylor Harnett, the new assistant coach. What are you expecting with this new addition to the team?
Well, he brings a lot of experience. He coached in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, and for 7 seasons, winning season in 5 of those 7, Coach of the Year in 2022. So he definitely brings some more experience. I think what we're seeing with Mike Hawes making all these changes, whether it be on the ice, with a couple new additions last week and the week before, and then in the coaching staff, just trying to bring some veteran experience and just try to turn things around with guys that have been there before when you got a really young team.
All right, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow and throughout the weekend for both the Kings and for the Cougars. Jaden, thanks so much. After a drama-filled Monday night football showdown, tonight CKP3 showcases the biggest plays on the gridiron last night between the Bengals and the Cowboys.
With both teams trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, Dallas took the early lead, but Cincy were pressing in the red zone.
Brown down the sideline, and we'll have to wait. He's in there.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
I think he's in.
The Canadian running back tiptoed the sideline to give the Bengals their first lead of the game, and fast forward to the last 2 minutes of the contest, tied at 20, the Cowboys forced a punt.
That's blocked. And picked up by Cincinnati out across the 46. It was blocked by Nick Vigil. And the offense comes back onto the field for Cincinnati.
Despite the great blocked punt, Dallas went from having plenty of time to seal the win to putting the ball back in the hands of Joe Burrow.
Burrow, sideline, Chase, spin. There he goes. Jamar Chase.
Not catching him.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Chase's second TD of the night kept Cincinnati's slim playoff hopes alive to wrap up tonight's CKP3.
All the time we have tonight. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, your last look is all the toys collected from this year's Christmas Wish Breakfast. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.